Since October, I have gone after at least 500 bounties. By go after, I mean actual successfully capture 500 bounties. Every single one of these videos I have recorded here is basically a video of me going and bounty hunting someone, at least one person, maybe a multi-crew, maybe multiple. And the other problem is that the size of these files have gotten way too large. So I started reducing them down to one gigabyte a piece, but I used to try to record these at 20 gigabytes, 30 gigabytes. I've deleted hundreds of gigabytes of, maybe terabytes of just gameplay of me recording and doing bounty hunting. So the number of bounties I've done since October is at least 500. So if you're wondering, Alkaline, why don't you make more voice over videos? It's at the end of the day, this is for fun and stuff. I do other things outside of this, and I enjoy playing the game with my free time. So. The cool thing is, though, somehow the channel has grown drastically. We have reached the first stage of monetization, which we won't capitalize on because I don't live stream. You have to get to the second stage of monetization to get that, which you need 1,000 subscribers for. If you watch this video, maybe hit that. But why have we gotten there? The cool thing is we had this awesome guy here, Citizen Cow. Citizen Cow. This guy is such a guy. If you're not subscribing him, subscribe to him, because this guy, he said that, hey, Guardian MX has a lot of issues. He's like, Guardian in MX, no bueno. Guardian base, actually pretty good. Kind of, relatively, he said, which is a huge, cool take to have. The Guardian base is very, very slept on. It's the best duelist, in my opinion, of all the Guardian ships. It has insane maneuverability that's very slept on. And the fact that that was kind of relatively his take between all the Guardians was incredibly shocking to me, because I've tried to convince many people of this, and usually it's just on deaf ears. So the fact that he came to that conclusion on his own, I was like, this guy's kind of a scientist, and he's kind of independent. He's not in the whole PvP sweat scene. He dips his toes a little bit. So I say, hey, you want to fight? He says, sure, I want to fight. And then he makes this video, and you can go watch that video, figure out what happened. And tell a little bit about the thumbnail, but it's a great video. It's way higher production than the ones I make. So, I mean, there's a reason he gets 7,000 views on it. So it's a good video. You should go watch it. Since then, I then got hit up by some friends and stuff that I know, and they're like, hey, we have this streamer guy who used to be like an MLG Halo guy. Be honest, never heard of him. I love Halo and everything. I don't know very many live streamers. I love the guy now. I want to watch his streams whenever I can now, because this guy, he takes the fight also. What a dude. He's like, hey, I'm going to go fight this guy who I've never met in my life. And how long am I going to fight him? So it starts here at 1 hour and 30 minutes. He fights me. Once this goes out of Arena Commander, he fights me all the way up until 4-hour mark. So that's a solid over 2.5 hours. He fights me straight. No break, no drink breaks, no bathroom breaks, no nothing. This guy goes hardcore. I forgot to pull up this YouTube. Oh, there we go. We'll exit out of that. And then this guy makes one of the highest production videos ever on how to use heavy fighters back to back. Now, you might be like, Alkaline, why is this such a big deal? Why are you making this such a big deal? Well, I lurk in PvP discords and stuff. Occasionally I get hate about the way I fly, or because I've killed somebody who has a CS bounty stat too many times and they want revenge. But nowadays, there's been a couple people who have been really advocating that heavy fighters have no real skill expression, and simultaneously that they're not strong enough or too OP at the same time. Most people have a good take on the Scorpius. Most people have a good take on the Scorpius. This is a heavy interceptor. But most people come to the conclusion that the heavy fighters, meaning the F8Cs, the Guardians, all those and stuff, just that they're just either too bad or too OP and don't take any skill. It's a lot of conflicting information without a lot of research. These guys here are guys who put in the time and effort, fight it, more so understand it, and there's a lot of respect. Go check those guys out. So what I want to do is show you what I believe to be the best Guardian in the PU for bounty hunting. And why is that? Because I went bounty hunting for 500 bounties plus. So we're going to go through that video here in a second. So how do you build a bounty hunting ship? I've gone through many ships. I did a poll. I said I was going to do Meteor. I'm going to get to the Meteor. It was awesome. But yesterday night, I tested a crazy build of mine, which was for the Guardian QI. So this site here, SpViewer, this allows you to compare ships to one another. This is where I do a lot of my sciencing and stuff. I can see where all the different breakpoints are for different propulsion systems, for what their turn rate is, to their hull durability. Now, I can go into more detail here by going to this open performance page and stuff, which is kind of dope. So now when I get in here, I can get a lot more information. I can go through and see what the structural HP is of the ship by all these different components. And this is where I kind of learn and I test to see what is the actual effective HP of the ship. How is it so tanky? So for example, the Guardian's kind of a strange creature because the Guardian actually only has a body HP of 7,000 HP, right? But if we go to say a Gladius has 2,300 HP, but it feels like it takes much more than 3 times the length to kill a Guardian, even if its shields are taken down. And you might be like, hey, why is that? And the reason is it's the wings. When you look at the structural HP on this, even though it has 7,000 total vital HP, individuals who are able to use the thruster arms and everything can get an entire extra like 5,000 HP, another 4,000 HP, another 4,000 HP, and basically rotate this damage around all these ships. I've gone through all this information in the past. So you might be like, Alkaline, you're talking to a Guardian. You've already made 3 videos about this Guardian. I haven't made a video about this Guardian because this Guardian is special. This is the Batman of Guardians. Why is this the Batman of Guardians? Well, we'll get to that in just a second. Awesome. I had to pause the recording there for a second because I had to make this screen a little bigger here. So how do you make this the Batman? Well, the way to make this the Batman of ships is to go through and turn this into a stealth ship. Because when we look at this Gladius here, I can be seen from 31 kilometers away. I can be seen as far away as basically a capital ship. And why is this a problem? Well, I've been testing very, very hard trying to use the Scorpius and the Meteor to make them very effective ships in the PU to see if I can push their limits. And the reason is I had really good conversations with Avenger 1, and one of them is that even though we have completely different ways of flying and playing inside of the game, me and him agreed that interceptors are very strong, and heavy fighters in their own way are kind of strong. He's much more an interceptor camp, I'm much more heavy fighter camp. But the Scorpius itself was super strong. So I went through and I spent a whole bunch of time getting those 500 bounties using the Scorpius. And I learned I could make the Scorpius into a stealth ship. I went on and I blew up a whole bunch of people who were griefers and pirates, and a whole bunch of people got really angry at me and sent me pings on Discord DMs and invaded and raided my server, which is why I disappeared for a little bit, because I don't want that heat. I just want to bounty hunt and sometimes do really cool science stuff, and also I want to do a whole bunch of stuff. But forget that. We're on the Guardian QI now. The Guardian QI here. How do we get this EM signature down low? Well, what you need to do is go to the power plants here and go do what I call the yin-yang kind of approaches. You get a JS300 and you mix it with a stealth power plant. And this is what a lot of people don't know, is that a lot of ships, you don't need to run both power plants. So for instance, let's go ahead and just pull up the Scorpius here. If I run the Scorpius and I run this with, let's say, all ballistics, right? I'm going to go through here and I'm going to assign all Mantis Gatlings and stuff. This is going to become a Scorpius video also, it looks like now. Mantis. I'm just feeling inspired. So Mantis. We set all of these. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to also take this and we're going to put a Lasath missile turret. This is the Scorpius that I tend to use. And you might be like, that EM is 21,000, which about 75% of that ends up getting your distance and how far you can be seen. Go from here. What we're going to do is we're just going to take off one of the coolers because we don't need it. And then we're going to put this on a stealth cooler, make sure it's minimally powered, take off the vitality. We'll go ahead and put on a stealth shield also. We can also do a minimally powered military grade shield. So both work, but I prefer to run the stealth nowadays just for every ounce of stealth. And you might be like, Alkaline, my EM signature is still 6,000. What are you talking about? Because if I go up against a Gladius, it can still see me from 5,000 EM away. And you'd be right. So what else can we do to this? It's like Dora the Explorer. What thing can what can we change on the ship? And the trick is, we can just turn this off. And check this out. We can fully power this ship in the current meta and still have 6 pips left. We can just straight up unequip this if we don't want to. And now, with this now turned into a stealth generator, stealth, we still have 4 pips left. We can run this min stealth. Check out what our detection radius now. It is now only 2.3 kilometers. And this ship has 32 missiles. You can run 16 EM missiles and then run 16 CS missiles. And you can come in like a Firebird, and you almost have the same, if not actually, I think potentially more missile firepower in total payload than that ship, while also being a heavy fighter that's tanky and can dogfight. Absolute insanity. So imagine this. This is what I've been spending just months and stuff, just a couple hours a day. I play this game with friends and bounty hunting just hundreds of people. It's like, you think 5 a day for multiple months and stuff, it starts adding up pretty quickly. And that's on like the slow days. Let's go ahead and swap this to a Guardian QI. So Guardian QI here, this ship is hungry for power pips. You see how this only has it has 8 missing power pips? That's a problem here, because we need to get those back. So this is a little bit of an intensive ship. So normally what we would end up doing is run 2 JS300s, make it maximally tanky, right? So you actually use this quick select up here if you're ever on here. And this ship needs to be able to hit basically anything, so we need fast projectile weapons. We want to use the maximum size weapons as possible, so we're going to use Galderines. Unfortunately, we can't benefit from the ballistics meta this patch, because there aren't any fast projectile speed weapons that are size 4 and above. But I think we'll get buffs in the future to size 5 weapons, as those do more damage to capitals, I think, in the future. And who knows? I could be wrong on the CIG promises and stuff, but for the bounty hunting in the current meta right now, as I say, is play for the current patch. Play what you love first, play for the current patch second, play for the future third. Do it ontologically in that order. So what we're going to do here is we're going to swap this. This is what I normally would run if I just wanted to like go duel people in like squadron battle or something. We'd make this a stealth generator. And the way that we would balance this out is we would go through and turn down some of this, turn that up, turn this up, and we would minimally power this over here. And why is this? Why am I minimally powering this? Notice this. The shield HP right here is 9,240. If I maximally power this, the max HP doesn't change, but the charge rate does change. So if you get really skilled at the game, you can actually set up keybinds to minimally power your engines and then swap to shields, and then minimally power your shields and then swap to engines. By doing this, you can maximize your shield while also maximizing your engines when it matters. So once you're disengaged, swap engines to shields, and once you're in the battle, swap to engines so you can be more evasive. Which leads us to how we turn this into a more PU-friendly ship. Oh, guard. Oh man, all right, that was a jump scare. I still need to get VR set up, so, but anyways, the way we fix this is pretty cool, because right now we have an EM signature of 18 kilometers, which means that if someone shoots like 2 missiles at me, I'm out of flares, because it takes like 20 flares to flare off a missile in the current patch. But if we're in the PU, we're going to want to quantum dampen, right? So now we're up to, let's see, we're still at 18, which is kind of interesting. Didn't know that. Well, the more you know. So the way we fix this build, this is how we turn it into the most powerful bounty hunting, most versatile bounty hunting ship in the game for like a generalist build before you start counter picking enemy ships and stuff. Is you swap this here to the yin yang build, right? So we're going to find stealth. Where's the stealth? Right here, there's the stealth. And check out where we are now. You can go around here, turn that off. Might need to power 1 to this. So you got to watch your heat. If you're in the verse and you're not overheating, just take that out. You don't need it. But if you are overheating, fly like this. Now, check this out. What this means is that we can almost fully power ship. We're losing just 1 pip to engines, which is unoptimal, but versus if you become skilled in a heavy fighter pilot and you're fighting other opponents and everything, there's possibility you can take them out, and you're providing a huge support with your group because you can potentially throw out a quantum dampen. But you might be like, but Alkaline, you still have 14, you only shaved off like 4 EM kilometers. Well, here's the trick. Go through, turn off your JS300. We're not 7,000, right? Go through and turn off both your Galderines. You're still at 6,000, but you're like, Alkaline, you can't shoot them, so they're just going to kill you. Well, check this out. Let's go ahead and minimally power this. and now we're at 4,000. It's like, well, they're just going to missile lock you, right? If they missile lock you at 4,000, you're still going to get shot and you're going to die. Well, we can actually get this even lower. And you might be like, Alkaline, there is no way you can make this lower. But watch this. We're down to 3,500. They can still shoot reasonably missiles at me. This isn't as good as the Scorpius yet. And why am I trying to get this so low is now that we're at 3,500, what we can check is what is the range of our quantum dampener. Right here, see? 4,500 meters. What this means is we've now passed a break mark point that we can actually hover at 4,000 meters and we can quantum dampen them without being seen by the enemy. So you could be an unskilled combat pilot, but be good at like holding distance. And you could actually provide a huge utility to your team to quantum dampen them. But you might be like Alkaline, that's why I just run a Mantis. And I kind of know how to do stealth mechanics on the Mantis. Well, the thing with the Mantis is, what happens once you get into combat? Can you actually do anything? Probably not. So that ship dies really quick. It has 2 size 3s. This ship, on the other hand, we can just power everything on, and you can probably kill people with that. Pretty cool, right? So you throw noise and everything, and we'll show you how to do that in an example of this video over here later. I kind of failed, but I think I'll get better at it. I don't die, though, so... But you might be like, Alkaline, that still seems kind of high. Well, what if I told you that you can be Luke Skywalker and use the Force, and you turn off your radar? Well, you might be like, well, I can't see the opponent then, so how am I going to know the distance? Well, I mean, you have a mobile glass, you have an MFD, you have what are called mission markers, right? So now I can only be seen at 2,600 meters cross-section, meaning I have to keep nose to him. If you show them your top side of your ship, you'll be seen at 7,200 meters, right? You don't want that. You want the 2,600. So this is how you see them, though. Notice here. In this video, that is an Idris over there, and I currently have not detected him yet. But I can see his distance, and the reason is because I am tracking his bounty, right? So by tracking the bounty, you can actually get close enough. So here I'm going to sneak into right about 4.5 kilometers. You can sneak into the target with a quantum dampener active, and they can't do anything. It's very silly. Very silly. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to activate the landing gear tech, which I still haven't really seen too many people talk about. And this is going to increase my upstrafe to be almost 11 Gs a second. And now I can basically have VTOL thrusters and do a barrel roll. And why is this so cool? Because this is an Idris with a giant railgun. And whenever I fly a Mantis or see other Mantises flying, they always get hit by the railgun. It's because they can only go in a straight line. If they hold their side strafe inputs, they strafe too slowly to dodge a 3,000 meter a second projectile railgun while keeping nose to nose. And if they hold W, they're just going in a straight line. Go look up the short on my YouTube video and stuff, and you can just see one of these guys. What is it right here? You can see oh, where's it at? There's too many videos. Oh, this one right here. You'll just end up seeing what is it? This guy right here. He's in a Mantis. Don't be this guy. Don't be this guy. 10-kilometer kill going like breakneck speeds. You don't want to be that guy, right? Be this guy where you can just you can just dodge railguns, and there should be a railgun that they fire at us here at some point. We'll fast forward real quick. If you're ever in VLC Studio, right bracket is fast forward. By the way, I learned about this tip. Very helpful. Let's see. Maybe they fire one. Go look. Oh, see right there. Is all that fast? You can rewind it and see it, but they shot a railgun and they can't hit because they can't see me, right? They're like, oh crap, this guy's out here, but we can't get a little target lock on him. So what are we gonna do? Anyways, this goes on for a really long time here. So you can't see the time bar at the very bottom because I carefully cropped this, but you can see now that there's actually a constellation now chasing this guy. And why is this a big deal? Is this constellation right here and everything is what I want as a bounty hunter. I want to wait in a position and fish until luck favors me. I want to wait for things to just change in the environment and everything where all of a sudden an unbalanced situation that's not in my favor turns into balanced one. Either that comes from me just death marching and blowing up on the individual over and over and over again, or just waiting for like a good Samaritan like this one to come around and then I'm good to go. So now here, I'm like these two guys, it's not enough to take out of this. So this isn't my cup of tea. So I kind of wait here and I just wait here, keep waiting here. And I just hold these guys down. That guy ends up getting blown up by a railgun. So Constellation dies, and I'm like, I made the right bet. I'm not going to do anything here, unfortunately. So fast forward a little bit here. Go 6x speed. And I'm still just doing this for multiple minutes. The other guy, I think, gets soft death. He gets railgunned. We're still going. And I'm just holding this distance, trying to make sure I don't get target locked and stuff. The unfortunate thing is I do have a large visible presence here. So what ends up happening is I eventually do get spotted. You see, this Hornet right here is able to spot me visually because I have a giant red orb of death around me that says, hey, you can't quantum drive over here. And now I'm in a problem here, right? So I'm able to minimally power my shields with this tech while keeping my cross section. So I'm actually fairly tanky, but I have no weapons. I have no radar. And this is where I want to like maybe set up some hotkeys, like make it so I have a hotkey in the future that can turn on radar, which doesn't yet exist in Star Citizen, but in the future it probably will. And I'm trying to figure out how to get out of here. I'm panicking. I'm trying to go down, and for some reason I foolishly think I can take this fight. I'm like, man, I can change all my power and fight this guy. What I should do is just jump out of here and then jump back. Don't be me and try to power on your weapons and your radar in the middle of combat, and then also have to do it over here. You have to turn it on over here also, right? And I'm not doing that. And I'm down a red wing in here and stuff. So very, very foolish. And then I'm like, I should just jump somewhere, right? And for some reason, I don't really just jump somewhere immediately. And eventually I choose one, and look how close I am to dying here. But think about it. If I was in a Mantis, maybe I could have drawn away from that Hornet if I saw it. But what if they did get jump on me? I'd just be dead in a Mantis if I got the jump on me. Here in the Guardian QI, I don't have to be that skilled. I did nothing there with evasiveness once I started getting shot at. I just ran away, and now I'm jumping. And now I choose a good place to go to repair, which is SCD-1, Shipment Mining Facility. So I go through here, and I repair. Right. Going. Repair. Faster. See how fast VLC media player can go. Faster, repair. Going. Oh, it breaks around 12x. So let's cool down there. And we come back to the Idris, right? Oh, I think VLC media player broke. All right, sorry, I fixed VLC media player. So anyways, I get back to that position. Just really quick, I'll kind of fast forward drag here real quick. We're going through, we come all the way back here where we go Shubin, right? Or Shubin, mining, repair, we come back, and we get back to the target. So now, what do I do here? I do the exact same thing I did before. I turn off most of my stuff, not all of it this time, and I'm just kind of looking around. And I see this guy has a new buddy. He has a Gladius. And I'm like, I kind of want to bait this Gladius out and then fight that guy. Maybe I'll go see if this guy has a bounty. And I just camp out here because I know if that fighter pushes me, I'm fairly confident I have good odds of fighting against him. So I'm just wanting to bait one of these fighters out or catch them when they're in a poor advantage location to dig them. I also noticed that, hey, there's a Hornet over here. There's a third fighter, right? There's these three fighters. And eventually we get to this point right here where I notice there's finally a mix-up. It's, again, you're fishing, and we finally get to a point where there is a change in the water. And this change here is this missile. This missile comes in, and it hits this Hornet over here, right? And I've swapped my bounty out to that Gladius target, and I've seen a mysterious Good Samaritan off in the distance shooting missiles at this guy, these guys who are terrorizing this OLP. And I think I should join forces with this Good Samaritan and lock down the Hornet. But the problem I end up finding is that this Hornet, I think, is actually in nav mode, as seen by a lot of these missiles hitting him in his lack of shields. So I try to zoom in on him, but I just notice I'm not really gaining distance. So he's like 16 kilometers away. I'm checking the Idris on the top right to make sure he's never 10 kilometers away from me. If he's 10 kilometers, he can shoot a railgun and insta-kill me. And then I'm looking at this Gladius that's flying in, right? And I'm like, oh, 6 kilometers, 100 meters a second. I could power on my quantum interdiction and I could capture him. And as long as I keep 10 kilometers away from the Idris, this is a 1v1 dogfight, which I can viably potentially win. So I push and I'm within 4.5 kilometers, so now he's nav mode, so now he is not able to reinforce his Hornet versus that other Good Samaritan who I'm hoping is able to win his fight, right? And now this is the fight that will go out. I start just pinging him with missiles. We'll get in a little bit till once we get in the fight here. and then we get into, I just pressed something that cropped the image, but it doesn't change the video too much. So we get into this point right here, and now he's starting to try knife fight me. So if you notice, I go into a panic mode right here, right? I start panicking because when I start trying to fire my guns aren't working. So what I do is I power my guns on and off, and then they start to fire. So if that ever happens, press P once, press it again, it fires back on. I also activate my landing gears to see if that was screwing up my weapons. So I just spam a whole bunch of buttons, something works, my guns turn back on, I don't know why. I start shooting the guy. Instantly, his shields are stripped. You see how fast those shields got stripped? Check this out again. Like, people are like, oh, the 2 size 5s on the Guardian, it's just 2 weapons, it's not enough. And it's like, check this out, 1,000. Oh, let me target lock. Let me target lock first. So right now I'm checking to make sure that this in the top right is 21 kilometers because I don't want to get one shot. I'm a pretty large target, so if I stay on this guy pretty steadily, I could get insta-killed. And I'm like, 21 kilometers, I have enough leeway. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. For basically 3 to 4 seconds, his shields are gone. And now he's just gonna run away. He's already red nose. Keep in mind, the body HP and the nose HP are no longer independent on the Gladius, so it's not like I'm just gonna insta-kill him once the nose goes red. So here, he's now trying to get away, right? But I have the quantum interdiction active, and since the quantum interdiction is active, he can't get away. So I just keep holding the boost button. This is why you try to put as much power into engines as possible. And I could have a little bit more if technically I didn't have the other item on me, the slipstream, which is the stealth generator. If I had the GS300, I have a couple extra engines. And here, a couple missiles end up hitting, and he keeps getting to that 4,500 and everything, but the missiles are coming in. I may have knocked out a shield. I'm not sure if he's still a nav, but he gets right to that edge, and then he gets captured again and again and again by this. So this leads, basically what ends up turning into a final kill here. The guy eventually ends up deciding to turn around and take the fight because he's not getting away. Maybe if he really dedicated a straight line of approach away, he could have gotten, but all these missiles and stuff are frustrating a bit. So now he ends up ejecting here, and I'm still scared here because he could shoot me with a boom tube to insta-kill me. So I'm spazzing out on my strafes, up, down, left, right, to maybe dodge that boom tube that could insta-kill me. And my goal is to just run this guy over because the hit reg of the guns to FPS from ship to ground is real jank, and I may just not be good at it. And there, lo and behold, I'm able to get the ram and kill that guy.